guys, if you don't know us, Godzilla, Kong, Rodan, Ghidorah, they're all terrifying. And what makes them, in my opinion, so terrifying is their roars. So, can they be even more terrifying? You tell me.
Listen to these three monsters.
You can't tell me because you're off asleep.
Listen to these three monsters. In the last video, I made popular monsters sound horrifying, and in this video, I'm going to take 3 more monsters and do the same for them. But here's the catch, I can only import 3 sounds, so let's start off with...
I'm gonna do a Jurassic Park one, the Bowser one and the Dilophosaurus. This is just Godzilla first.
I saw the How to Train Your Dragon trailer, and in there I saw Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. No, not that one. No. Yes. Toothless is already pretty scary, but I think what would elevate him from scary to horrifying is a new roar. See, according to me, Toothless probably evolves from some flying reptile or bird species, so I want his roar to be based off those animals. The first sound I'm going to use is inspired by this comment on my last video, and it's a cassowary. Think of them as geeses where they get mad super easily, except they're less funny because they can end your free trial to life. So yeah, I'm going to use that, and the next sound I'm going to use is really going to elevate Toothless from scary to horrifying, and that is a gelatin bird. Finally, I'm going to go to Jurassic World Dominion and add the Quetzalcoatl sound, and now that I'm done, you can listen to it.
I like it. It's really cool.
Next up we have Freddy from Five Nights at Freddy's, and if you were to listen to Freddy's roar or scream, I don't know, but if you listen to it, it sounds like a velociraptor. Okay, this might be just me, but why did the jump scares get worse at each Five Nights at Freddy's game? It turns out electronics gonna eat your brains out and jumping at you to like some guy standing there. Anyway, so if Freddy sounds like a velociraptor, then I'll have to one-up it with something more horrifying, and that is a Scorpius Rex.
I personally would have went with bear sounds and mammal sounds, or maybe corpse sounds, I don't know.
I added it in, I think I already got the job done for the roar. I added the sound and made a higher pitch. However, I also added short circuits in the background so that it gives an animatronic vibe. So now you can listen to it.
I like it.
And we have Godzilla. And I love how we live in a world where...
Not really Freddy in my opinion though.
Only we have Godzilla.
The main
and I
one,
love how we live in a world where Eminem, Kratos, and Godzilla can be in the same room with each other wearing Jordans. Like, bro, how did Toro let this slide? But don't worry, I will avenge my fallen brotherhood by making the legendary roar horrifying. And I needed to lock in, so I couldn't use those like random animals, okay? I need to find the most scary dinosaurs and monsters from pop culture and make something out of it. Starting off, we got the Giga from Dominion. Probably the least favorite theropod out of the 3 theropods.
I don't really agree with him. I know he's just joking, saying I need to do Godzilla some justice. I don't agree with that. Not with him, I know he's joking, but most people have this statement with Godzilla saying Fortnite ruined Godzilla by making him more jokey. But in my opinion, Fortnite made him better because it showed him to the masses.
Pods in the franchise, but it would be great for the roar I'm cooking up.
So, in my opinion, Godzilla is better because, like, maybe it's me, but I don't care about Godzilla being not serious because I don't think it matters if Godzilla is serious or not.
Dinosaurs from Jurassic Park 3. It's a classic roar, and it will also complement the Giga. I also added audio effects to both of their roars so that it isn't a one-to-one copy. Finally, we need one more roar. Instead of the 2 dinosaurs, I want to use a Titan, and I was deciding between Ghidorah and Rodan, and after careful consideration, I scrapped both of them and replaced them with Shimo.
I don't really agree with any of that. I would have used Aminals, because one of my biggest complaints with Toho is how they used guns. And in my opinion, nature can be scarier than any weapon, and nature could have been better than a gun. So I wouldn't have used any of the Titans. I would have used, unique sounds, but just me.
Look, Shimo's roar, I can't really describe it, so you're going to have to see what I'm talking about in a few seconds, but it just fits Godzilla better. After splicing everything together, I finally did it. I made Godzilla sound okay. I tried, okay?
Speaking, I thought of doing my Kaiju OC Roar. If you guys want to see that,
I try to make these monsters sound as horrifying as possible. So to test if it worked, can someone throw it to their nephew or something? But at the end of the day, it took a team of people to make these monsters, and they worked really hard to make it. So next time you see a scary one in a movie, I just want you to take a little appreciation to think about all the hard work that went in. Okay, toodaloo.
Enhance your adventure. Upgrade packs.
Speaking, I'm not going to be buying a Switch, so if you guys are wondering.
I'm going to turn it from this into an absolute killing machine. And I might be wondering how I'm going to achieve this. And the way I'm going to turn it to Evolve Godzilla. And I'm going to turn it from this into an absolute killing machine. And I might be wondering how I'm going to achieve this. And the way I'm going to do it is by changing these 3 parts about its design, which will turn Evolve Godzilla into something super cool and awesome sauce. So let's start with Godzilla's biggest weakness, his arms. See, Godzilla struggles in hand-to-hand combat. Like, bro, what is this?
Unbelievably right now. He sees...
I don't want to sound copium here, obviously everything could be better, but I don't want Godzilla to personally have really long arms. They buffed Godzilla's arm length, so I don't think Godzilla needs longer arms, personally.
Probably why Godzilla's biggest ops are monkeys, because while they have like huge jacked arms, Godzilla's maxing out his curls at like 20 pounds. So giving him bigger arms is basically a necessity. So in my design, I made sure to give Godzilla bigger shoulders, biceps, forearms, and triceps. This way he'll be able to wrestle better and put more impact behind.
Godzilla's on the top of my section, and Jurassic Park's in the middle of my section now.
The strike. Next up, we're going to Godzilla's tail.
Transformers.
Godzilla's tail is basically just a huge sledgehammer, and I'm gonna get rid of it. Now, hear me out for a second. While this may sound counterintuitive, it's actually a lot better for him. Because have you ever carried a sledgehammer before? Like, why are those things so heavy? Like, Godzilla barely lands any attacks with his tail, and the only time he did was with the male Muto. But dude, that thing is so dumb, it's not even funny. So I would design his tail to help him swim better. That way he could fight against titans like Tiamat in the water better. This will elevate his swim from good to absolutely bonkers whilst taking some weight off him. And while it might not be as powerful as the current tail, it'll still help him keep balance. Finally, we have his spine. I redesigned his spines as a more aesthetic decision to make the design like cool and stuff. But these will also act like a power source for Godzilla.
Kinda looks like a Godzilla.
See, in the movie, it states Godzilla has 20% more nuclear energy. And as for what this means, good question. I don't know, bro. It's a Godzilla movie. I mean, nothing really changed in his arsenal except for that he turned pink. But in my version of Evolved Godzilla, these will not only charge up his atomic breath, which we'll cover in a little bit, but also send energy to his arm, tail, and even head. So if Godzilla wanted to, he could load up his arm and absolutely clap Kong in the face, sending a huge blast of nuclear energy. But the real power of these is for the atomic breath. See, Godzilla always had a big blue or pink beam that shoots out of his mouth, but it's not very effective. A more effective approach would be the beam Shin Godzilla has, where it's more concentrated. Because it's more concentrated, it could shoot through Titan's buildings more easily, whilst being lighter, which takes less load off his neck. This works because, science. A few touches I made was to make his chest bigger, similar to what Evolved Godzilla had in the movie, and also make his calves and quads a tiny bit bigger. With all said and done, here's the final product. Also, huge thanks to Normal Bear for helping me color this thing and draw the head. Really made the drawing come to life.
I like it. No hate, but I prefer the original, but, you know, I mean, one was made by
Your skin just met its
one was
new
made by
BFF,
YouTuber, one was
the
made by a
Broad-Faced Mini
billion-dollar
Hair
company,
Remover.
so I don't want to be a dick about it, so I'm just
It
going to
gives you smooth
say
skin
nice
in
fit, nice
seconds.
design.
Broad Face Mini Hair Remover. It's never been easier to get smooth skin.
It's
Use it
never
whenever,
been easier to
wherever.
get smooth
Shop
skin.
now.
3 sounds. So let's start off with... Listen to these 3 kaiju. It took a team of people to make these monsters. However, I'm going to try to edit them to be as horrifying as possible.
I'm most excited to see Kong. Yeah, I love Godzilla, but Kong I think is more scary because he's a mammal.
But here's the catch, I can only add 3 sounds. So let's start off with, starting off we have Rodan. Basically it's a flying beast that can level cities. So I want to create a roar that can be heard from distances. Now Rodan can fly, but you know what other species can fly? Yeah, birds. And the bird community holds some pretty scary fellas. Starting off we have the capuchin bird. And I chose this sound because I thought it was very ominous in its sound. And it would be really scary if you just woke up one morning and you just heard this. That was the first.
No hate. I don't really think it fits Rodan, but just me. Rodan as a character is a very cocky and prideful titan. I don't think that fits him, but just me, yeah.
Sound I would add to Rodan. But the second sound I'm going to use is the kiwi bird. And I found this really scary video of the kiwi bird just walking around and making this sound. And I thought it'd be perfect for Rodan. So here, you can listen to it.
want you to know, I'm not trying to be dick, but like, oh, I'm glad he's not just picking the three stereotypical, like, biggest and baddest birds. I'm glad he's picking unique birds. I'm just saying, I wouldn't personally use Slim.
And I thought it'd be perfect for Rodan, so here, you can listen to it. And finally, I added the famous bald eagle sound. But fun fact, the actual bald eagle sound that you normally hear isn't really a bald eagle, and it's actually a red hawk falcon. But anyways, I think a bald eagle sound would be a famous call that can be heard from distances, and would also fit Rodan perfectly since, like, they can both fly and stuff. I don't know. Now, all of these sounds I didn't actually put in raw, and I actually did do some audio effects with them, like deepen them or made them more high pitched, so that we could create this. Next up, we have Mecha Godzilla. And you might be wondering why I'm not doing Godzilla. Well, that's because I already did him, and you can see the video right here. Anyway, the idea I'm going for Mecha Godzilla's roar is that I kind of want it to be like the evil twin of Godzilla, where it still sound like him, but something's a bit off. You know, you feel me? Now, the first sound I'm going to add is Godzilla, but I'm going to distort his roar so that it isn't a one-to-one copy. However, this is going to act like a base for the two other sounds I'm going to add. Now, unlike the last one, these two other sounds aren't going to be animals, monsters, or dinosaurs, but are instead going to be machines.
That's pretty cool.
He's a robot. Now, the first sound I'm going to add is the sound of a jet engine. And I added this sound because I wanted to sound like Mecha Godzilla was screaming in pain. It will also add that industrial sound to it. But the third sound I'm going to add is going to be a glitching effect where it sounds like something went wrong in the program, really selling the fact of how this is a Godzilla kind of gone rogue. Also, side note, I know that Mecha Godzilla is technically Ghidorah in the movie, but I didn't want to add Ghidorah's roar in it because I really wanted to sell it as the fact that it's Godzilla's evil twin. With all said,
yeah, I didn't really like the Ghidorah twist either.
Now, finally, we have Kong. Side note, it's kind of funny how Kong just basically took over the MonsterVerse, is now the main character, at least for the last two movies. But anyways, for Kong's roar, I'm going to approach it a little differently than I did for the last two roars. Instead of focusing on the actual sound of the roar, I'm going to focus on the effect it has and how it makes you feel. So because of that, for this monster, I'm going to ignore the 3 sound rules so I could do Kong to his full potential. So starting off, I'm going to add metal groaning sounds and earthquake sounds so that you could feel Kong's size and mass. Next, for the environment sound, I'm going to have buildings shattering in the background and also have birds flocking. But what's really going to sell his size is that I'm going to add sonic booms every time he beats his chest. Now for the actual roar, I'm just going to add some basic animal sounds like lions, gorillas, and grizzly bears. I didn't want to go too much on this because less is more in this situation. And personally, I thought this was the hardest one of them all, as I tried to not make it a basic monster roar. So I hope you like it. So now you can listen to it.
Okay, let's hear it.
My skin, she gets irritated.
That was actually really good. Yeah, I feel good finally reacting to all of these. Yeah, I want to say, no offense to bro, obviously it did take a whole team of people, but I want to say no disrespect. He made a great video.